Okay, hello everybody. Welcome to the stream. Let's get the video up. Hi. Welcome. So we got like about 12 people watching at the moment. The plan is to go through this, at least the first half of Japan versus Australia. Probably the stream will last like an hour and a half or something. Bit of a test just to see how this can work. Could be quite cool to do this like fairly often, you know, once or twice a week. If people are interested and if we enjoy it, it's a cool thing to do. Sure, hello, and Russ, hi in the chat. Thanks for joining us. Without further ado, let's start looking at the footage. You'll have to let me know if the audio is too loud, so I can like adjust what you can hear from the video compared to my voice, but I can't really like hear it, so you have to let me know. Oh, you posted it on Reddit, Russ. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Like, I don't know if I talk now, whether you can hear me over Evan. I'm doing well, Short. Thank you. How are you?
First, Japan and Australia. Evan Lepler and Brian Jones with you from Field 1, which has been dormant for quite a while. We have been hit by torrential rain. We are expecting intermittent showers.
Oh yeah, I remember the rain that was in London. So many games cancelled.
Great anticipation all week long to get to this moment. The men's division began with 30
unfortunately at the moment it's like really early in Australia, so we might be missing out on the Australian viewers, or they're missing out on the live stream. It's really hard to find a time of day that kind of works for me and for everyone in the world. But you know, if people are staying at home, then that opens up a lot more times, a lot more opportunities. Hi Tarek, good to see you.
Australia versus Great Britain, a game which Great Britain won 4 years ago. Australia handily took it. Their hooks look to be on point. But on the other hand, the Japanese, they run a very unorthodox system on offense, tough to defend. Going to be a great game here today.
Australia begins on offense. Peter Blakely, one of the leading stat makers for the Dingoes.
Oof, he wasn't expecting that hook. Oh, was that really to him?
The first punch thrown from the Aussies.
Okay, so now I can go through the footage. I can rewind it and stuff quite efficiently, hopefully. So there's a lot of players spread out all over the field during this point. I don't know whether this will. Let's have a look. Well, it looks like this Japanese. You can see my mouse pointer there, right? Looks like this Japanese defender is just kind of hanging out. Disable Felix. Yeah, so like poaching you off, and that kind of causes Australia to be a bit more spread. Tricky decision for number 5 there, whether he goes downfield or stays in the space. Nice little give go move. And again, this is really nice, just catching and passing off, keeping the disc moving nice and quick. Now he bangs it deep, and do you really think that he's through? Because I think this is the guy that catches it, right?
One of the leading stat makers for the Dingoes.
That's not who he's aiming at all. And that defender would have got it. Both defenders would have got it. So I think he's going for this deeper player over here, but I think there's like a mix-up at the back. Like he almost throws to the pick, right? He's being marked by Matsuno, and Matsuno's half picked there, and he's winding up here, probably knowing that this guy should be getting free over there. But he looks over his other shoulder. It's a good catch. Get it from that angle.
The first punch thrown from the Aussies.
That's quite good. That was quite good flow.
In the same way, this week we've seen the Japanese go out and throw blades to the break side. The Australians are so good with
number 9
from all angles. It's normal
number 9.
when you teach a team, coach a team. That
what's the audio like? What's the volume like?
Rightfully usually ignore that rule because they have the height and the playmakers who can read the disc. As we take a look here at the Australian roster, Mike Neild is only one of the names that you take a look at, one of the team's best players, most veteran players. Matt Dowells has contributed a lot. On the D-line, we've seen Tum Tuitt do a great job pulling the disc and manning the backfield. And we've mentioned before Peter Blakely, one of the young stars of the squad.
Daniel Rule, the head coach.
Right, I'm just making a few little cuts. I'm going to try and like categorize this game so that I can do analysis on it, but if it ends up being too disruptive to the stream, then I'll stop doing that. What I can do is I can skip the between times, like between points time. Just go straight to the next point. Audio is crisp and good. The huck was for number 9. Was that the one that I identified? Being marked by Matsuno. That's a great pull. See that. This match is from 2016. This is the semi-final from the World Championships in 2016.
Japan beating Belgium 15-10 in the quarterfinal round.
Yeah, it was quite a deep position to throw that deep pass. But Australia like those long throws.
Matsuno, number 10 in the blue for Japan. The speedy Taiyo
Arakawa Matsuno. Okay, right, first turnover. Like a really nice flow up until then. So it's like it's real tough. It does happen quite a lot though when you're in really good flow and then you just take that pass and slight execution error. You can see right from the beginning, like how long does the disc stay in anyone's hand here?
And the first throw connects with the 88 shirt.
Less than 3 seconds. Less than 3.
Number 10 in the blue for Japan.
Like it's so hard to stop that move, and look how many yards he gets starting from right the way over here. Yeah, Matsuno catches the disc off the side, and Boone gets it back. You can't stop that open side pass, and then Boone gets it back over here. That's so far, and then he just slightly overthrows it. How many of this team play for Buzz Bullets? It could easily be all of them. And I vaguely remember they picked up 1 or 2 players who were like tall, basically, in Nomadic Tribe or maybe another team. But yeah, I think it's predominantly Buzz Bullets in this Japanese team. So how did Australia work out the field here? Coming out of what looks like a vert stack. Not much switching here because there should definitely be a switch if they are switching. And if they had switched, maybe they'd. Oh, that looks like maybe they did switch in the end because I think 25 was free going deep. It's a shame we don't have like a wider angle. Like you basically see. So he's a guy that gets near the D. So I think he picks him up. But he's already run past him by the time he picks him up. And you've got Matsuno at the back as well, waiting to pick someone up. So yeah, one big throw. Australia decided they realised that they kind of live by the sword, die by the sword when it comes to taking the big shots. They score a lot of spectacular goals, but at the same time, they can turn over in key situations. It's a high risk, high reward kind of situation. Alright, I'm just doing that categorization thing again. I can do this on the fly if I just remember. So that's the beginning of the point. The turnover happens just here. Again, we'll go to the next point.
Right there, kind of generating a bit of a freebie and then executing their offense perfectly with the big huck.
Russ says everyone needs to pay attention to how they always have a cutter on the break side waiting to activate horizontally.
The Japanese roster for Yohei Abe and Yoshinori Nasan.
If anyone has any insight on how many of these players are not Buzz Bullets, that would be interesting.
Has been fantastic, and in 24 they call him the Jet. You have said, I'm not sure I've seen anyone faster than him in small spaces. Joel Schlockett-esque. Perhaps for the Japan perspective. We'll Obviously, USA and Canada later today. Canada's lone loss in this tournament against the Japanese in a power pool crossover.
Okay, next point.
Canada getting by Germany in the quarterfinal rounds. USA beating Colombia. Japan looking for Korono. Beautiful toss. And a floaty flick
I love that throw.
by Matsuno.
Just doing the categorization thing. We watch that quickly. See how he gets the separation. Where is he? This is Korono here. Not much. I mean, that really the defender. I mean, this is the kind of thing which is really easy to look at in retrospect. But really, with this player coming under, if the defender's able to see him, then he doesn't need to worry about guarding that under space. Like at that point, you almost want to force Korono towards that player. But he just takes off. Little stutter step, isn't it? Yeah.
Rounds, USA beating Colombia. Japan
Matsuno starts nice and quick. Just got to power through at that point. He almost gets taken out by his teammate. That's kind of like a pick, really, isn't it? I don't believe in picks, by the way. Like, I think it's a mistake of the defense, but you know, it is the current rules that we're playing under. But I think it would be interesting if pick wasn't a rule. We'd see evolution on defense. And there's such a nice throw to see, just to see him looking over that shoulder and just to throw it right to the back corner at this point. Real nice.
Japanese are not incredibly tall, but they can strike over the top.
And they did so right there. Korono going deep. He's been incredibly valuable to this Japanese squad as we take a look here right off the start. This may be
oh yeah, if I fast forward in between points, we don't get the replays.
And even maybe more impressive than that is this throw on a rope. And a little bit of wind, some storms coming through.
I love those touch throws. being able to throw the disc so it moves slowly through the air is just opens you up to the next level. I wonder who. So this like having this left arm out on the disc when wound up. Technique-wise, that means that you rotate your shoulders, right? Because you can just pull your arm back, but like stretch your kind of like rib cage. But if you bring your arm across, that really rotates your entire core and everything. And you notice this is a technique that a lot of the Japanese players seem to have. And then you see the snap of the core there before the disc is released, transmitting the energy down through the arm into the disc. Kind of interesting. Yeah, it is a unique forehand throwing form, Russ. I've noticed that over the years. Short notes that the Australians are playing non-physical D. Is that the same replay? Uh-oh. I think I wasn't filming this game. I was working on the camera crew. I think I was streaming on the other field behind this one.
To a world title game, they'll face the United States 11 a.m. local time.
Will this be available in full after the stream? I think so, yeah. Like I haven't. I'm kind of currently deciding on, you know, what content I'm gonna keep as free and what stuff I will put like for patrons. So I have to start a proper kind of patron kind of scheme. Alright, let's have a look again. Australia. Make that one isolation pass. A lot of separation here. Ooh, that was a tight one. And then a long throw. Let's see where the cut develops from over here. Just kind of a slightly off positioning there. 97. He's marking the last man. But he's like looking at the disc, you know, so that's an incredibly risky situation already. But he should really be positioned behind,
4 p.m. Eastern.
especially against Australia.
Shoots it, and a rising catch for Evans. Sebastian Barr leading the team in assists so far this week. You can see the wetness.
And I don't think he gets scored. No, he doesn't get scored. Oh, but he does get beaten over inside, and that takes this defender out a little bit, perhaps. So hang on, is there a switch in the backfield here? So he's dropping back and he's pointing. Yeah, so these two here are communicating to bracket at the back. So he goes over. This one comes in. Oh, and he says you take him. Right, so yeah, they both... I love the arms going up, so we immediately identify something's going on. It's like, oh, something's happening here. But he's got like an open palm hand? Like, open palm, normally like your point or something. And he's having to leave this guy at the back. But yeah, this player changes direction just at the moment when they're trying to switch basically between them. And then does he get sucked in here? He delays a little bit. So he delays closing up that separation because I think he sees this. Which really is quite a good option. I mean, this guy's incredibly focused on breaking the force, right? But he's seen this over here as well. But if he was looking over here, then that would actually be, you know, a bit of a squeeze. And it's quite good to also like face up against the force like this and just threaten breaking the force constantly. And as you can see, it kind of opens up space. Okay. What's other people saying about that? The flick up form is weird.
So far this week. You can see the wetness of the field causing some slipping and sliding, but Blakely has no issue.
Yeah, setting picks. Yeah, I mean there are other sports which have pick rules which involve, you know, you can't have like a moving screen.
Sometimes you're soaking wet and you never really know what's coming 15 minutes.
But setting a pick, I mean a vertical stack is essentially like setting picks. I don't know, it depends how you look at it.
The Japanese aren't keyed in right now to the Australians' looks. They've seen each other a couple different times, as we outlined before. Them being on the same side of the world, they often attend the same type of international tournaments.
Yeah, Tarek, I wonder how what Japanese throwing practice looks like. And there must be like a key head coach or something that has taught this technique that just kind of extends down to all the players. They're definitely very like standardized in their throwing. Like teams like Australia, UK, like there's a whole load of diversity in the throwing techniques. Japan's mostly similar, you know, and it works really well. The offenders were the ones doing the bracketing there. Almost looks like the offenders were. Alright, next point.
Before the day is over, we had one yesterday on the adjacent fields, about a half kilometer in front of us.
Great marking here by the Australians, really staying off the mark, cutting off the angles, not trying to mark too tightly, knowing that the Japanese love to break and get it to the break side of the field.
Matsuno plays through the bump of McDonald, and they swing the disc to Katsta.
Katsta. I couldn't decide whether to call him Katsta or Katsuta when I made a recent video on Japan USA. It's a bit stop-start. They've got like fairly good spacing, maybe a bit too spaced. You know, there's this big like gap.
That came through and flooded a lot of the area. And here for the first time, I'm starting to see this field get a little torn up. It's been saturated all throughout the weekend.
As a cutter, how does the torn up?
Yeah, there is an argument for like safety when it comes to picks. But I think a lot of people, when they imagine picks, and they're imagining defenders just running without looking where they're going.
Japan has done a good job taking the unders, although now they look long. Australia had the height, but the better read from Japan as Rio.
Just get to the beginning of this point so I can make my little cut. I'll do. yeah, so it was a little bit stop-start on the offense, but yeah, quite reliable.
Too tightly, knowing that the Japanese love to break and get it to the break side of the field.
Matsuno plays through the bump of McDonald.
So yeah, now Australia getting more physical then, yeah. So here's where there's like big space opens up here.
This is Tanaka back to Fujikawa.
A lot of slipping and sliding downfield. The pitch, which has been immaculate all
It's like a very flexible horizontal, maybe. I don't know if they really focus too much on actually the formation. Like there seems to be more than just one layer of players, but that could just be because they're moving.
I think it's more important for the defense in a lot of ways, but you have to take shorter
steps. Is that me
smaller
in the background?
Chop your feet a lot. Make
It's
sure
not worth rewinding.
Japan has done a good job taking the unders, although now they look long. Australia had the height.
It looked like that guy could have did that, didn't it? Yeah, I think he just. I mean, is that Maxine? It does well to. No, it's not. He does. The offensive player does well to kind of push in and force the other player to bid. But yeah, I think he knows he could have got it if he'd taken another step.
So, not even really that close for the 53 shirt defender from Australia. I mean, trying to make it a play.
He kind of had to though, didn't he? Like if you look at how close their feet are here before he takes off. He doesn't have much room to carry on running. Yeah, like he has to pretty much bid there, otherwise he's having to stutter step, and it's really awkward. Yeah, really nice offense, showing you don't need to beat people in the air to beat them for a disc that's in the air. I'm sure there's better ways of phrasing that. Okay, next point.
From Australia. 4 years ago in Sakai, in the men's division, it was the 7th place game that saw Australia and Japan collide. The stakes much greater here in London. Already guaranteed a spot in the top 4, but a chance to medal.
People never want to clap catch hammers.
How sweet would it be if it is gold for one of these countries?
Something about the disc being upside down just persuades people to crowd-wise every time. Oh!
An excellently timed poach from Raito Nose.
Okay, let's have a look at that poach, where it comes from.
Sweet would it be if it is gold for one of these countries?
Okay, so this goes over here. He's been poaching for ages, right? Oh, no. Is it a poach?
America, where the ultimate has been largely
It's not a
dominated
poach.
from.
Does he get it? No, I don't know if he gets it, he just gets close enough. And it's rainy conditions. Can't see for sure.
For one of these countries from outside of North America, where the ultimate has been largely dominated from. And
Yeah. Is he partly expecting White Hat here to take it? Is that why he gives him like that extra step? Because he's running towards 97. And then he's like, oh no, I've got to cover that. Nah, probably not. Probably just doing strict 1-to-1.
And Japan has its first D.
The poach, yeah, the poach is here. So if that is slightly over his head, or if he gets a piece on it and it goes up in the air, then he's got the D. Just like Matt Raider in the USA Japan final. Dylan Freechild style here. Interesting.
Japan will have the disc.
Do I think Worlds and World Juniors will be cancelled?
The Dingo's offense and force them just to stay a little bit more patient. Usually this is a fast strike offense that likes to put the disc up deep very quickly.
I think crowds at those things will be cancelled. Like, I think people won't be allowed to congregate to watch games. And it's quite possible that they will be cancelled, of course. So you might have to rely on live streams to watch the games rather than going pitch side, if they happen at all.
of how both teams like to play.
But yeah, at the moment it's not looking too promising. Really.
Really watch the Japanese play Ultimate before. Their style.
And let's have a look at that turnover. Sorry, I didn't really focus on it.
Very quickly.
Yuasa launches.
Yeah, it's not a bad decision. It's just a bad throw. Oops. So when he makes the throw, this defender's kind of like flat-footed almost, and he like gets faked under. He's not watching the disc, and that's kind of enough separation that if you get the disc out in front, that should be fine.
Yuasa launches.
But he doesn't really get the disc out in front, and the defender does well. It is very physical. Like if you're playing, yeah, if you're playing with like no contact allowed, then yeah, maybe the defender's fighting too physically for that position. But yeah, the players are happy with it, and that's what matters. So Japan doing kind of interesting defenses. Could be like Hasami, right? So you see the three Australians in the middle, and they're surrounded by the Japanese. And there's plenty of pointing happening.
Of how both teams like to play.
Yeah, he's watching the disc and just he's ready to do it. Go. This guy sees there's people going deep, but there's other defenders deep, so he's like, leave him. Now he searches around to find who's free. Yeah, and you count like this guy's here, this guy's here. So he probably sees that's his thing here, and these three should then be on these three here, which means 18 needs to take this guy coming under. There's not enough time to kind of get those matchups going on. Now there is though. They're double teaming this ISO, which means someone's free, and it's that guy. He should look for the disc back. It's like just run off. So Japan not putting a force on here. They train a lot of 6 versus 7, and so that will train in the understanding that the person with the disc is often like the last person you need to pick up marking, especially when there's movement happening. So, say you've got 6 defenders and there's 7 offense. If you don't mark the disc, then every other player who's cutting is marked, right? And the only other way you can actually get advantage is by surrounding clumps of players or something like that. And so yeah, like probably that's why then this player here knows. He doesn't stick with the disc, he follows the player, and then this guy here communicated, no, I've got this guy, you can mark the disc, we've got the same number of players as them. For a change. Commentators talking about it as well, if you can hear that.
While they've shown excellent patience at times this week, they're a team that likes to score fast. And they score here.
Okay, just down the line, let's see how he gets free on that. Don't need to spend too much time on it. It's probably just like a simple move, just well timed. Is it even for him? It could be for the other guy.
This week they're a team that likes to score fast.
Yeah, just quick movement.
They score here. Up the line, they jam it in. Mark Evans, the veteran, makes the catch. 4-2.
As a coach, your job is always to force starting to do. It may be successful for the Australians. They had 1 turnover there. Japan had a chance to get a break, but going forward, you want to continue to make the team do what they're not comfortable doing the most. Take a look here.
Ah, there's that team. Does he touch it? You can't really see if it touches it. It doesn't really look like it. I mean, if you look at the disc, it doesn't really change. Well, it might pop up a tiny bit, but that I don't like that style of catching. I mean, yeah, if you go crabwise, then you can reach forward a little bit further. So maybe that's in his mind is like, right, I've got to reach in front of this guy and get it, and that's an excuse for going crabwise because you get an extra foot or 2. But if he was going clap catch for this, then he would have caught it basically because the disc doesn't. It might get popped up slightly, but it doesn't get the flight path doesn't get affected that much. So clap gets really cool at that.
The block got just enough, and then ensuing
Yeah,
after that,
Jason,
Japan
jamming it in the
striking
jam
deep
hole.
and a lot of
Oh yeah, was I said something about this being potentially too much contact. I mean, I haven't looked at it closely yet. So actually 16 goes and gets a position in front. They're shoulder to shoulder. Lots of crazy stuff happens when you watch it in slow motion. I think once you've done that, and then it's like, oh, okay. Oh, okay, now he's pushing back and he's putting his arm on his shoulder. Yeah, you're just in a horrible position here because the disc is bad. And he's not using his arms. Like, if anything, it's an offensive foul. Yeah, it's a bad throw. Not a bad decision, bad throw. I mean, I guess that is a bad decision if you can't make that throw, though, right? It's always a balance. I agree, but Frank disagrees with both of us. About what was that? Let's just make the cut here. Tanaka building the pool. Oh, right, yeah, clap catch. Yeah, he hates it. It's a funny thing, and it's kind of indicative of like the rest of what Frank teaches as well. Oh no, like he had that on second bid. Like he just believes that people can be perfect. And so if you're able to perfectly catch like this every time, then you know, then there's no point in not doing it. But you know, humans aren't perfect, and there will be little bits of error. So this is like more error safe. But yeah, no, Frank's a big proponent of the thumbs up grab wise catch. Sorry, I'm looking at this one again. So it's another turn, and it's another missed throw and deep throw. Really horrible angle, really, like throwing it like that. Not too much separation at all. Comes in, horrible angle over the defender. Almost gets on the second attempt. But yeah, that's not a high percentage.
Japan going deep. They do like to strike quickly, but that one.
So that's probably a poor throw decision, right? Because if the shape of the throw is much different, it would have been an easier catch, but it would have had to be a really good throw anyways. Travel after the pull. Let's just have a quick look because I can re-find where we were. Travel after the pull. Yeah. It is. But obviously just, you know, one that doesn't have any consequence in the game, so shouldn't be called and such.
Australia.
Yeah, and it's true with a lot of the other stuff that Frank teaches. You know, if people are perfect, then you know his ideas about movement and everything else, you know, are great. But errors creep in every part. That's a terrible time to cut. Don't cut to the crowd when they just brought it in on the end zone line. Oh, excellent. You see that throw? Is that stall?
Favors the Japanese.
Bloop. Just toss it over the top.
Not exactly how they drew it up, perhaps, but it worked. It's Tanaka flipping it to Korono, but perhaps it'll come back.
Let's do a actual analysis of the duration of the stall. Oh, we can't because of the cut. Oh no, okay, we can. Okay, he puts his foot on the thing there. Boom. Okay, now I'm looking at the clock. It says 16:12:09. All right, on the footage clock. 16:12:09. So then it's like terrible cut. Releases the disc, and it's out of his hand there, I think. And that says 16:19:23. So that's 7 7 and then like 14/25 of a second, so almost half a second. So that's like 7.5 seconds. That's pretty quick. Because yeah, it's 25 FPS. So they released it on 23 frames past, and he brought it in on 9 frames past, and then it was 7 on top of that. You can count it as well.
It's been a lot
So
of rain this week, but not a lot of wind.
3, 4, 5,
Do you think the
6,
wind favors
7.5.
Not usually.
How about that? Not exactly how they drew it up.
So if it is a stall out, then that's very fast. I think. So I did some analysis on this when I was doing push pass stuff. So I had tons and tons of footage I was looking at, and for like one tournament, I think it's probably ECF 2007. I did every stall out. I counted it up, and they averaged like 8.3 seconds stall outs. And you know, obviously, I don't think that's in bad faith or anything. It's just interesting stat. So, you know, around 8 seconds I think is like fair. 7.5 is pushing it a bit. Yeah, another thing with the catching, clap catching to throwing a backhand. People are like, oh, which hand should you put on top? It's easier if you put your dominant hand on top because then you can go into the throw easier. Or catching like this because then you can go into throw easier. But the difference in those are like 0.1 seconds, if that. It's like 0.05 seconds. The difference in time it takes you to get into the throw from either of those techniques. And oh wow, nice catch. And the amount of time that people waste with the disc in their hands, which isn't changing grip, is, you know, seconds and seconds and seconds, you know, with their shape or whatever. So I don't see speed of release as being anything to do or like, relevant enough, consequential enough to come into the discussion on best catching technique. Really, best catching technique should be what you do to catch the disc like most safely. Okay. I'm just arranging this. Okay, right like that.
Tanaka won't have that much time before he has to get rid of the disc.
Yeah, the throw is like when you see a particular thing and you're like, oh yeah, I've got a tool for that. This can work. I've been thinking about the push knife quite a lot recently. You do lots of fast give-go moves, and then you want to pop it over a defender. This is indoors, I thought about this. Then it's really hard to then wind up and throw a knife. But if you're doing give-go, 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 then you just want to like basketball style. And I think push knife is useful for that. If you get good at it, then it's not hard. God, you really just thread that through. Like see how the front edge of the disc is down as well, so you can toss it up quick and it goes forwards. It's mad. That's a nice catch. Goal. Okay. We've thought about having like a stalled out clock, so you can do a replay of when there's a stalled out being discussed, and you can have a little clock ticking, or you could just have the clock constantly, but it would basically be one person working for the entire game. Train the motion that is clap catch with dominant hand on the top and throw a backhand 2 steps. Yeah, like I say, you know, the time it takes you to go into either grip from either catch is negligible. So just practice it a bit. I do clap catch throwing. You know, I'll do at least 1 or 2 in a game when I play indoors, and occasionally do it outdoors as well. But the hand that you put on top, if the disc is coming at like an angle like this, then you really got to put your left hand on top to catch it like that, you know. And if it's going like that, you really got to put your right hand on top. Doing it the other way around is super awkward. So you don't want to get too familiar with only one way. Oh, that's such a tight throw there as well. Is that a high stall? Yeah, it must be. Lefty sling scuba. Maybe. Oof, so close. Oh, there's no way that should be complete. Look at this poach. He sees him so early. Like, it's just one of those. Is it even complete? I don't even know. There's like 3 defenders there. Probably down, right? Yeah, it's on the floor. It wasn't complete after all. So I mean that was like a really bad throw, right? Yeah, he's just throwing to separation. He hasn't eyed up the rest of the field, and he's having to throw to a tiny area, or he is aiming at a tiny area. Sorry for the black screen. I'm just categorizing it. Okay. Right, Japan start. Pick the disc up nice and quick.
Dowell cannot come up with a catch.
Pointing to where the people are free.
Australia's offense does a good job of relying on players to cut from a variety.
Oh, see, I don't like this move by 19. It's like surrounding the disc.
Does a good job.
But if he's being looked at, it's okay, I guess.
Australia's offense does a good job of relying on players to cut from a variety.
Oh, it's so awkward there. It's so unfortunate. Because he's totally free, so what can 19 do? I suppose I can't really see. Like, if he had nothing else, then that'd be fine, but it's unfortunate.
The rain play taking a toll.
We've seen some uncharacteristic errors, a little sloppiness.
They happened to me and you regarding me. It's like, well, that was a turnover. Well, this will be a turnover.
Evans, cheeky backhand.
Ah, right, took it to those. Louis.
Evans.
Nice, lefty. Still underrated, the lefty. Like almost more by beginners, you know. You would have thought beginners would be like, yeah, cool, I'll learn a lefty backhand, but you know, I teach it as a basic throw in Sussex Uni, and after a few months, you know, someone will make a short side arm and be like, oh, that would have been a better lefty backhand, and the beginner will be like, lefty backhand. And I'm like, yeah, like it's one of the throws that you know we work on. It's one that you should have in your arsenal because of the separation. Is that a push-off? Not really. I mean, the defender's kind of fouling him anyway, right? When he's like that close. I guess close marking, like, I swear you're closer if you don't stand that close, you know what I mean?
Evans, cheeky backhand.
It's a really nice throw.
Despite 4 turnovers in their last 3 points, Australia still with a 2-score lead.
It's hard to plan for this type of game because the weather keeps changing on you. Weather on the goal line for Australia. For a couple of turnovers.
The force doesn't even put a hand up because he's not expecting it.
Downwind, no problem.
Is he left-handed? Wait, was this the next point? I thought it looked like a replay.
Federation, Eric teaching youth about cancer symptoms through Ultimate Frisbee clinics by the members of USA Ultimate.
Let's have a look at that technique. Is it the same player? Yeah, I think it is the same player. Maybe it's just the same player, just something. Yeah, getting that left hand across pulls that left shoulder forward, means it rotates his body. Snap happens just a couple of frames before the disc is released. The pivot foot comes off the ground before the release.
The USA Ultimate and by whiff dip.
Should they be approached by the backside, the break side marker? Right, we can just quickly go to the last point. Should there be a poach?
Evans.
It kind of is.
Cheeky backhand.
Oh no, it's not. Yeah, it's very tough situation, but yeah, I think there should be, like, I think if you just put this down on paper, right, they've got boom, 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 then you wouldn't position the defenders like this. But what can you do, really? I mean, yeah, it'd be good to have two at the front, but at the same time, this horse is a bit far round. You know, I don't think you need to be that far around. I think you should be a bit more straight up, because he's not going to break you around to this corner with this player here as well. So maybe this player should communicate and be step left, because you've got the round channel. That's something you could do. Okay, next point. This weird one where they're like, oh yeah, stay on this shot, stay on this shot. Should switch.
By the members of USA Ultimate and by whiff diff.
Whiff diff.
And Discraft and Japan.
Kawa is in.
Virtually 10 seconds.
We don't really know what happened.
Down the field for a score.
They call him a jet for the reason he's got incredible speed.
Now, do we get a camera 1 replay? No, camera
By
3.
small height, Japanese love their hucks. They just love to send them in blade.
Oh, you meant the other handler defender. Yeah, oh, he could have dropped back, I suppose, yeah, because I mean, he was kind of covering that around anyway, so they could have worked together.
Blade fashion, so they come down quicker.
Yeah, it's just one frame in it, but he's off the ground. They changed the colour hats that they wear between this game and the final. Is it with the rule now that you have to have the same colour hat? Why do we get that replay? That's not the replay we want. We want camera 1 replay in that situation. I shouldn't criticise the crew too hard. I know it's tricky. Yeah, is it with the rules that you have to wear matching colour hats? Because I think that's dumb.
Because early in the week, everybody's happy to be there. Teams have different goals. But at this stage of the tournament, everyone within sight of a championship. And when the two teams come together after a hard-fought battle,
so a lot of the Japanese defenders are backing the players. Is that Matsuno? He's fronting. Oh, nice. He's in, right? Let's have a look. Juggle. Control. Yeah, definitely in.
Unconsolable, and yet there's still respect and spirit at the end of the Australia GB game.
Was that a switch? Just over here, looked a bit weird.
Respect and spirit at the end of the Australia
No,
GB game.
it should have been a switch, probably.
Justin Ford for Great Britain and Mike Neal for Australia both spoke beautifully
Oh,
about
they haven't been throwing it deep at this point. They've got a little bit of a deep option here. Uh-oh, was that just a rush throw? I wasn't watching.
what the game meant,
Hmm.
the emotions and the rivalry.
Yeah, just a rush throw. I think with Japan, you're fairly happy for them to work it quickly over to the open side as well.
And the
You know,
emotions and the
you want to
rivalry
protect the break side.
that will live on. There's an unforced turnover.
Gotta have
there that
matching
just
colour
simply
underpants
got a
too.
grasp of
That's it.
Evans on the release.
And that's hard for the Australians, whose plan is usually to huck it.
Where does it end,
and
eh?
Forcing them to move it around. As right now,
Oh, I need to mark that turnover.
Play will restart. That's Australia's plan B. Is they want to huck it and they want to use their athletes from a lot of different positions.
Oh, another deep.
And going deep.
Overthrow. The separation was there. I saw the separation. Over here. Oh, wait, what was that? It was just movement. No, it wasn't not even separation.
From a lot of different position.
Is it the same guy?
Going
Same
deep.
technique.
In pursuit.
Wrong in a different way though. The other ones have been underthrown, if I remember correctly. Let's start and
Miyazaki, who was particularly impressive in the second half.
It's hard to run a quick throw offense.
that's why I need to practice your forehand give-go moves. Yeah, because the Australian guy threw that off the edge. I mean, he could have done a lifty backhand as well with the give-go, or he could have just popped it up inside out. That can be easier to kind of get running, you know, if you do it that way. I find if I throw lefty, I almost have to put my right foot behind me to get into a better kind of like running position. Put my right foot behind me. Oh, I thought he was going to throw the hammer. He should have thrown the hammer. No way, he got it. Oh, that's mad. There's history with Australian hammers, basically. They lost sudden death to USA by dropping a hammer in the end zone. But look, he must be thinking hammer here. So, like, yeah, Australia are very conscious of their hammers. This looks like a good hammer opportunity. This guy here should come under a little bit quicker. It's a little bit painful, you know, because the whole time this guy's free. You've got to clear out. As soon as you see that, you clear out the end zone. But no, he's hanging back, and then he comes under. So maybe he can't throw the hammer then. But then the outside in flick, he's like, no, I won't throw a hammer. But he is free, so I'll chuck this. Should not be cutting to that. Blades in. What a crazy angle to try and hit. Catch that D. Just clap catch it. It's tricky knowing that. I mean, is this a foul by offense or defense? Like, offense definitely changes direction and goes for the disc. D gets there first and gets clouted, right? A little bit. Disc up in the air. Little trip over. Lands on him. Oh no! Oh my word!
Caught off the body of Miyazaki. You got to be kidding me, Callan Spielman.
You have got to be kidding me.
There for the Australian goal.
A lot of the bounces have already started to go Australia's way, but I didn't think they would get this.
Was that off the pull as well? No, it was just a turnover. Okay. Let's see it again with real speed.
His eyes downfield, he blades it to the end zone, but Japan is there, and it's caught off the body of Miyazaki. You got to be kidding me, Callan Spielman plucked it out of thin air.
Let's see a different angle on this.
You see the disc blading, comes in, bounce around.
No way. Backhand, put him off balance. Yeah. You can't throw an accurate throw from off balance. Or if you do, you're really well practiced at it. Comes in. I think he maybe tries. Does he try and catch it? He goes two hands, but he knows that guy is about to hit him. Oh, it hits like his knee, and that guy's leg flips up. He does well to get hold of it real quick. Mad. Let's try and look at the reactions from the crowd. Oh, this would be the angle. I feel like the player should be a little more humble there.
Take a look again from this angle.
Like when tennis players tip the net. How do you mean?
You've seen plays like this before, and it can become.
There was 2 or 3. I think there was 2 years in a row where, in the US national final, this happened. The player was on the floor and another player picked the disc up off them. That was back in Alex Nord. Yeah, Alex Nord days. Brian Jones knows.
Spielman is going to take credit for that. Japan has to come away a little frustrated, but but knowing they're forcing Australia into some decisions where they're going to get their opportunities.
Both times, though, forcing a turn to get the disc back to score. Big shot.
Another deep throw. Ah, he's got loads of space. I mean, it's probably the Australian game plan as well to try and force the Japanese to throw deep a bit more. And it should be, because they've turned over a few times on it. Let's have another look. Can we actually see where the deep cut comes from? Is it Korono in 6? Ooh, the double.
Big shot.
I think, does he travel again? Love that. It's like, the flick hook. It's just like, and he is traveling here, but it's not too consequential because it's not. I don't know. Maybe it is consequential. Maybe it's like getting advantage.
Big shot. In pursuit of Korono.
Gets a lot of separation.
Ahead of him. He keeps his feet and needs help.
Okay, what is the call? Is it a foul? I mean, he does have his arm out here, and he was fouling on the mark as well. It's pretty foul-y. Doesn't look like he's discussing anything with him though. There's a bit of history between Japan and Australia. Oh, he's fouled again. He keeps doing the pick sign for foul.
And a really good lane to score quickly.
Yeah, it's like it's like heavy arms, isn't it? You know, real heavy arms. He's definitely in a legal position and he's pushing back and stuff. Look at that. It's like the angle of arm only happens if you're really trying to get that contact in. Oh, I don't like his reactions to it. It bugs me. Tennis players basically apologise for scoring. Well, yeah, right, yeah. When you like have an accidental score, like in pool as well, you know, you like apologise if it goes in, the ball goes in accidentally. It's a random score. So yeah, humble. Should be humble if you pick the disc off the opponent's back. Like, is this fouling actually advantageous to the defense? It gives the offense a chance to like stop and have a look. I kind of wanted him to throw this. Don't you want him to throw this? Oh, feels good. Red hat. Oh, Arakawa. This face marking, I have no time. I have no time for face marking, especially in the end zone like this. I would just set up a sandwich. Around these two. But like, yeah, face marking. You see, Arakawa he does they do it in rugby, I think, where they like take a jump and then jab one side, and he reacts to that initial jab, but that jab has just basically meant that he can push off in the other direction. So much separation. That'd be quite a good drill, wouldn't it? Like, how much separation can you get in any direction from someone marking you like that? It's timing, obviously. So when does he time it? Just as this guy catches it. Boom, the catch. He's about to turn around, so Arakawa looks at the space and he's just like, Zh. So good. Defender does well here to react to it. Yeah. I mean, if this guy wasn't face marking, he should know that is the area of threat right now. You know, especially with these players here, there's no immediate breakside threat. You can't see everything, I suppose. 31 does well to be there, but you can't stop that. Arakawa is so good.
Flips it to the end zone for the score.
Hand in the cookie jar. Hand in the cookie jar for the Aussie player. What does that mean?
Well, after the foul call, Japan has to only run a couple of good goes and take a look at their quick movement to get it into the end zone. But from the beginning, the Dingo's game plan has been to force Japan deep, and it hasn't.
Okay. Oh, we get another look at the huck.
Error. So we take a look here. Wind up
And the traveling.
Send it deep. Korono, why not when you have that much room to send it deep?
The Japanese are very versatile.
How are you guys enjoying the stream? You know, we're probably like 3/4 of the way through it now. Planning on finishing within the next half hour. Are you enjoying the mixture of analysis and watching and interaction with the chat? Is there anything you'd like to see more of or less of?
Which forces the peak of Japanese creativity, as you'll see here. Tagging into passing lanes, although not disrupting Australia's flow so far. Nice hammer over the top.
Let's just see the spacing for that hammer. This is the same guy that didn't try the hammer earlier, right? It's not. I don't know. Yeah, that's nice. Very hard to do.
Nice hammer over the top from Matt.
Oh my god. He does go for the clap catch, right? He does go for the clap catch.
Over the top from Matt Dow, but it was dropped.
We've got to practice hammers more. Let me just categorize this. Needs more cat. Root. Oh. The viewers want to see you. Come here. Here we go. Here's Rue. Hello. Hello. Very good, Rue. Come on over when I ask you. You want to see more of the Japanese defense? Looks like Felix. Yeah, they are doing a lot of flexy style movements. Like you see here. I mean, call it like sagging into the throwing lane, and they're always like pointing for each other as well, like over here, just constantly. He's basically like, you know, if he runs that way, you got him, right? But there isn't any communication come back from that, and this guy kind of just stays in the space, and he's like, I'm not getting any clear messages from you, so I'm going to commit to this. He almost gets it. And now this guy's now double marking with 19. So there's a thing with like Japan, and with Flex as well, is that if one person doesn't quite get it, does it wrong a little bit, then something like this happens, and you just have someone in tons of space with no pressure on them whatsoever. And that's just because this guy's like, oh, I feel like I'm busy, but he's like, well, what am I doing then? So it's kind of like it's like a chain reaction, like a knock-on effect. If someone gets it wrong, then that effect isn't seen around them necessarily. It can be seen like the other side of the field. Kim says hi, Rue.
Not disrupting Australia's flow so far. Nice hammer over the top from Matt Dow, but it was dropped by Callan Spielman.
Australia finding ways to bust through the zone. And they call a timeout. Japan does, trying to regroup. See if they can send one in to tie this game up.
I guess they'll show a replay of the hammer drop. Maybe not. It's always a bit of a debate in the production room. Do you replay bad things? Bad things, mistakes. I guess I chose not to in this instance. It's not a particularly interesting drop, I suppose. Sunny day now. It was raining earlier. Okay, so you can go through these options. What have they got? It's like horizontal. I think this is clearly like the first look, right? You go up the line, you go across. So that could actually be deep and then across in the middle, which is kind of interesting. And these two players go deep. So that's kind of an interesting pattern they're running. Now he's not free because this guy comes in and poaches, right? So he winds up, and he's like, oh, hang on a minute. I mean, he's not really free anyway, but... So then he's like, okay, cool. So then he looks over here, okay? And this is then where your spacing is important. They've got a nice equilateral triangle here, so this guy should be able to be hit, and then he sees this player here. So erring on the side of caution, Ben sees then the follow-on option back here. And the fact that they've got this equilateral triangle here means that he's now got two options near to him rather than just having one if he was an isolated dump. Yeah, if someone doesn't get flex right, they destroy the whole defense. You agree with that? You struggle to practice because of that. Yeah, it can be quite hard to see who's getting it wrong as well, right? It's very difficult for a coach. Way more difficult than just one-to-one defense, force one way. You know, you can always be like, right, you did it wrong, you got broken, you got beaten open side. When it's flex, it's like really hard to see what's going wrong. Which is why you need to encourage your team to kind of talk to each other, communicate between points, in stoppages and stuff. You know, set up things where you blow a whistle and then the team talks to each other just about the last 3 passes that happened, because really they're the ones that know what's going on the field. ISOs frequently, that break side cutter going horizontal. Right, yeah, that's what you said we should look for earlier, Russ.
Cut came from the handler core, Masashi Koike.
That break side ISO.
Going backwards rather than forwards right now.
Yeah, they're going backwards, but they're going backwards uncomfortably as well. You can hear the commentators, right? And there's almost like a distinction between the cutters and handlers, which causes it to be a bit more stuffy at the back.
Fantastic defense from Australia out of the timeout.
This is nice. I think again it's like spacing stuff. So it's a bit clustered, and then like throw over to the side. And now just having these gaps between players, and means like, right, okay, boom, clear option, boom. He's got space as well with options around. Deep shot he chooses not to take, probably quite wisely considering how many times they've turned over on deeps. This guy's face marking, so I wouldn't mind just putting the disc out.
You can play fantastic defense against the Jap.
Aussie pitch keeps advance real well to keep that window only half open. Yeah, like when he saw the lateral cut and then he saw the defender come in. Yeah, he did well to only half open the window. You don't, if you shut it off completely, then they'll take the other option. And if you don't shut off at all, they'll take that option. So you have to find that balance. Oh, that was a tight throw.
Sometimes you have to be aggressive and force bigger throws, and they still find a way to go move it back.
Look at that. Interesting technique as well, just like sinking to the ground.
A little bit before going upfield.
Just barely sneaking it past.
So why is that guy so free? I think it's because the string just lets him be free, I guess. I thought he was worried about a deep, but I couldn't really see that.
Lavis, moment ago. Takahashi dishes it. Shiba. Here's Korono.
Again, just like good spacing. They're not all clumping up. It's kind of like a horizontal, but with a bit more depth to it.
For Japan, that would tie things up here in the first half.
Clumping up there. I don't know whether it's deliberate that this guy comes behind the disc quite early. I like that though. I like the people being further back and the disc on the sideline.
Has to battle for bronze in the morning. Japan has broken.
Nice.
And we're even 6-all. For gold tomorrow, the loser has to battle for bronze.
Yeah, flow stops, but he's just got upside cut, and then this guy times his cut really well.
Japan has broken.
So that's cool. Lovely.
To have that discipline They use a lot of passes in here after things break down. Just gas are the Australians.
What's that score? Yeah, I mean this was a long offense. So I think there was a timeout. So there was that turnover, and there was like one pass, was there maybe? And then a timeout, and then like 1, 2, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22 passes for the goal. And that's what, I mean, that's good defense from the Australians. I think Japan are maybe like, yeah, not taking the deeps as readily. So maybe the Australian plan of giving them that deep and pressuring the under, still what they're doing, but Japan are just taking, they're just making them take the unders, making them give them the unders now, like just battling through, getting those unders, keeping the disc alive, not throwing it deep. Okay, next point. Yeah, when I pause, it looks like pretty much like hex shape. Yeah, well, yeah, the Japanese just have really nice spacing, you know, generally. So they do end up looking quite a lot like hex quite a lot of the time. All right, Japan doing more zoney style now. It looks like they might have called that timeout as well to be like, okay, let's take control of the game now. So, and they've got 4 people run down this ball, and then someone coming in to mark this third Australian guy. So where are the other Australian players? Like, I like this guy's positioning. Yeah, he like sees the force coming on, straight up force, and he's getting on this side of him over here. Okay, no, it's not straight up, it's a backhand. But yeah, he's just guarding whoever comes towards him. Nice. You've got number 2 here just in the middle. This guy's pressuring for the Canahan a little bit, but only if he's looking back. Massive double team. And then they have to pass it backwards in their own end zone. Oh, yeah. I remember this.
Switching in a lot of communication. It's not a typical zone.
Like, he's panicked. What are these Australian players are like quite far away, and they don't need to be that engaged. You know, like the space over here, I reckon you should probably occupy. So then this defender has to either choose to take that or to stay there. Yeah, it looks like a bit rushed. Ugh, nobody likes to see that, really, do they? And here, and I think that is the last time Australia touched the disc for a long time.
Throw to beat the zone. Japan has a second.
Nice. So where's have they even marked up? Tanaka's just free at the front of the end zone. This guy's like, whoa. He's just still free. I think there's a player over here that's coming in. And he's just a bit late.
Throw to beat the zone. Japan.
I mean that this defender here, what's he thinking? Like you can't see that there's someone free there, and then just be like, no, this is my man, so that's not my problem. If you see that someone's free there, you have to continue to alert your team about it. He doesn't. He just takes someone. Yeah, triple team. Could have been a triple team.
7-6, Japan leads Australia.
Yeah, so good at guarding space instead of matchups, and they're efficient with guarding the space as well because they guard where the thrower is looking. Yeah, so that makes it seem like there's way more of them than there are. They're constantly looking at the thrower and being like, right, the thrower's looking over here, so I'm going to add pressure over here.
It's so important to your game one of the most underrated
I
things.
mentioned it in a video
We
recently.
say underrated because people know it's important, but they don't put a lot of stock into it.
Yeah, but
See the
that so this flammer, yeah, floppy hammer flammer. Ooh, super low. I think that's the last time. Australia touched the disc in a while. No, I can't. I think I'm lying. Yeah, I'm lying. They're letting it get in touch with this now.
Through to the finals.
But I've been meaning to make a video for a while about around this period of the game. It's quite interesting. It might be just after the halftime. We're gonna stop at half, by the way, and we'll continue this another day. What's a good time or day for people?
Against Canada, the battle for North American supremacy.
What about this guy? Try that guy. Right? Are they just looking for that set of play? Making this guy going deep with 3 people around him. What's this? What's wrong with this guy? Take on the force, come on.
Critical point here for Australia.
Too deep back for the Japanese, just taking stock of everything that's going around and making sure
there's wobbly. He's gone deep. Oh. So just a bit of like uncertainty, yeah. You know, like there are some people really free at points. You see that as a switch there, I think. Yeah, so there's that separation, and he's pointing, and this guy's coming under, and he's pointing. Look at the distance that they're doing that switch at. That's great. And it nullifies that entire move, so it's super efficient. Still film session Fridays. Slow crush style. Yeah, I've still got your email printed out on my wall actually. You always enjoyed it as a way to cap off the work week. Yeah, so Friday evenings could be like a nice time for it, right? We've got like 20 people here. If it works for the 20 people here, then that could be good. Like at the moment, it works for me. Friday evenings around this time.
Remember Japan?
You see number 18 here. It's like if he'd looked around, because you know, he could. When you're doing flex, you can afford to like mark someone like this, someone that's completely free. You can afford to mark, you know, because you know that there's no other defenders in this area, so therefore there must be an extra defender in this area if you're trying to mark 2 people. So if he'd have taken that, then one of these 2 guys would have taken that deep. One of those 2 guys should have taken that deep anyway, right? Who are they marking? They're both marking this guy. He's going for the disc, maybe? Yeah, because the guy with the disc is unmarked. So yeah, there's loads of like poaching and switching, and yeah, I think they're stopping their deep game primarily. Like you can see, he's covering that deep rather than his man. And the turn comes because yeah, this guy's free and it's just a drop. But if you watch his feet, he's kind of like he's changing direction. Yeah, he's almost bending away from where that disc goes. Yeah, missed switches. Yeah, there are missed switches everywhere, TJ. Good to see you, TJ.
Remember, Japan will receive to start.
But yeah, he's just like a little bit unsure on his feet, and then it just slips through the fingers. Timeout.
That drop from Barr. Then Japan would have a chance to score again out of.
Is that the last time Australia touched the disc in ages? That's like a nice quality camera, isn't it? Some of the cameras we were using to film this tournament were insane. I was cam 2 for the final, and the lens of the camera that I was operating for cam 2 was worth over £100,000.
Largely what it is about.
Oof, almost a turnout. Turnover immediately after a timeout. So what do they set up? They got horizontal. It makes sense that Japan like horizontal.
Largely what it is about. Neil going for that
good
frisbee,
bid.
got a piece of it, but could not dislodge it from Kusano.
It's good to hear. Evan saying frisbee. When I was in America, staying with Empire for a little bit, they called it instead of ultimate frisbee, they called it ultimate disc. Yeah, I know it's AEDL and everything, but it just sounded weird to hear them say ultimate disc. It's like, what? TJ, you're in America. Do you hear that phrase very often?
Up the sideline to Takahashi.
Okay, travel call. Is it legit?
Up the sideline.
Yeah, it's totally legit.
Takahashi. And a travel. They quickly reset and play on. Koike blades the flick.
Oof. That throw. Just slice through the middle.
Reset and play on. Koike.
That's powerful throw. Like this fake is real good. Get that disc back up the sideline. Sees the option. The thing that you want to fake at is this defender, right? You see this defender start to move, and you just be like, yeah. I'm definitely throwing this, Mr. Defender. And then shoof. Yeah, like if he'd released that, that's exactly what this guy wants. He wants him to throw it fast to try and hit this player before he gets there. So right up until the point of release, this is a realistic look, which is exactly what's going to get a really good defender committing. And then the offense can just go the other way. And then he's like, oh, now I just throw this. I like that technique. Like sitting on the floor when he throws it. Right through the middle. And that should be a goal now. Just give go here, maybe. Slight mistiming in the end.
Four straight goals from the Japanese to take it to half.
Nice, Evan. Yeah, you can't trust the force that much, right?
Flick to Hana.
And let me just get on replay while I categorize this.
Defense looked incredible after an early mistake. From here, it's just been quick movement after the turnovers. Australia hasn't known what to do.
Yeah, so we practice breaking the force all the time, right? We do break force drills. AEDL is American Ultimate Disc League, yeah. Not too often, yeah, makes you cringe. Yeah, Ultimate Disc, American Ultimate Disc League. So they play Ultimate Disc. But it's not Ultimate Frisbee, because the rules are different. It's very similar. So yeah, I'd always, this guy's trying to do his bracket, right? But then I think maybe because he has to, you can see he's trying to do the bracket, and if his teammate responded and was totally on board with it, he'd probably be able to spend more time worrying about actually doing his job, because he really should be in position to stop that, especially if he's got defenders working with him over on this side.
Four straight goals from the Japanese to take it to half.
Yeah, you can't trust the force that much because we break the force all the time in drills. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, travel, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 9 pass. 9 passes is probably about average, isn't it? Well, no, maybe not. Maybe in America it'd be less. I think they play a lot more.
Made the adjustment.
Play a lot more long game stuff.
Going the second half, it's about what adjustments Australia.
Beautiful backhand. It was a very nice break, wasn't it? In Germany, nobody calls it the disc frisbee. They call it Shibe. And I think that's beautiful. Shibe. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. Important people need to realise you can't trust the force, says Kim. Yeah, I mean you can you can trust the force to make it a little bit harder, right? But you can't trust the force to not get broken. Because yeah, people practice that all the time. You know, we're all about breaking the force. So, what is this? Is this the second half starting already? Okay, that is the 1.5 hour stream that I planned. So, this has been quite good fun. I'm up for doing another one. If you have any feedback for me, then let me know whenever's convenient for you. If you liked certain bits of it, didn't like other bits, whatever. I might well do another one like this weekend. Probably next week, but possibly this weekend. So we'll see. Thanks for watching. I'm gonna show you a video that I released yesterday. I kind of messed up the release. I deleted it and then released it again, and it ended up not being seen by a lot of people. So I will run that just after I say goodbye. But thanks very much for tuning in. Subscribe on YouTube if you want to get notifications. Trigger the bell, and then it will tell you when I'm going live. Otherwise, I'll announce it on Twitter and Hive WhatsApp, and where else do I announce it? I didn't announce it on Facebook this time. But you get notifications on YouTube, and I'll send something out on Twitter as well. I'm going to run this video. Cool, thanks guys. I'm going to run this video, so the stream will be going for a little while, but I'll sign off. Thanks for tuning in. I'll see you soon. Hey everybody, this video is going to be a little bit different to usual, as I'm going to talk about how you can throw a frisbee as safely as possible whilst we're in this global pandemic. First, I want to say that by no means am I a medical professional, and the guidance of what you should and shouldn't do whilst in this global pandemic is constantly changing, so make sure you check with your local health authority to see what they recommend before undertaking any of the exercises in this video. So you're getting bored at home and you want to go out and throw a frisbee around, but you want to do it safely because you don't want to risk infecting yourself or infecting other people. In this case, you should follow this guide to Korono safe frisbee throwing. The first step is to communicate with the friends or teammates that you want to throw around with. So copy and paste the step-by-step Korono safe throwing guide in the video description, and then suggest a time and a place for a Korono safe throw. Step 2 is time to pack. So get 2 clean frisbees, some drinking water, your boots, a bottle or a thermos flask with warm or hot water and washing up liquid, a clean washcloth or a micro towel, and gloves if you want them. Step 3. Travel independently and set your bag down in space, i.e. not next to anyone else's bag. Send the location pin if you're the first one there. And if you're not, then wash your hands and wave when you're ready to catch. Step 4. Put one of the frisbees upside down on the floor, which is going to act as your wash station. Wash your hands and wash the frisbee that you plan to throw around with. Step 5. Whilst you wait for your friends or teammates to show up, you can practice your freestyle skills. Step 6. When your friends or teammates arrive, greet them with a friendly wave and wait until they've washed their hands before throwing with them. Step 7. If you touch your face or cough or sneeze whilst throwing, make sure to wash your hands again before touching the frisbee. If you suspect the frisbee has been contaminated for whatever reason, give it a wash and dry before throwing again. If you get hit in the mouth with the frisbee, wash the frisbee. Now, it's perfectly natural for the person you're throwing with to wish to engage with you in some way. However, if it looks like they're going to get a little bit too close for comfort, you're entirely justified in vacating the area as quickly as possible. Step 8. When you're done, wash your hands, pack up your bag, wave goodbye, and enjoy the rest of your contamination-free day. Okay, that's it from me for now. I hope you enjoyed the video. Remember to be kind to each other in these times. Stay safe, and I'll see you again soon.
Why am I keep doing that? Why am I keep doing that?
Oh yeah.
Good?
Yes, you're good.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.